India has 1.4 billion people. Thousands of football matches are played across the country every single day. This country has never once qualified for a FIFA World Cup. In fact, ask the average Indian about football, and all you hear is crickets. Pun intended. The country has cracked cricket so well that it hosts the biggest cricket league on the planet. Yet one thing has always escaped them: a place at the FIFA World Cup. So why has a country of 1.4 billion people mastered one sport but never qualified for the other? Let's go back to where it all began. When India walked into the 1983 Cricket World Cup as 66-1 underdogs, nobody gave them a shot. But football's story that same year looked completely different. At least in cricket, they walked through the door. India hadn't even entered a single FIFA World Cup qualifying campaign since 1958. For over 2 decades, the AIFF chose to focus entirely on the Olympics and the Asian Games instead. So while cricket walked into its tournament as the underdog, football wasn't in the room at all. Then India's cricket team beat 2-time defending champions West Indies at Lord's, on the biggest stage the sport had to offer. This was a West Indies side stacked with legends like Viv Richards, Clive Lloyd and Malcolm Marshall, a team that had steamrolled the previous 2 World Cups. Nobody expected India to even compete with them, let alone beat them at their own game. But India did. They defended a modest total, bowled West Indies out for just 140, and walked away as world champions. That single result is the moment cricket stopped being just a colonial leftover and became a national identity for Indians. It gave an entire country a reason to believe, and once people believe in a team, they pass that belief down. Parents who watched 1983 raised kids who grew up idolizing Sachin Tendulkar, the batsman who'd go on to become the sport's biggest icon in India for over 2 decades. Those kids are now raising kids who watch Kohli and Bumrah. One win, one generation, and an entire sporting culture built on top of it. Fast forward 25 years. The BCCI doesn't just run a league anymore, but an empire. The idea behind the IPL was simple on paper. Shrink the game to 3 hours, add city-based teams, and sell it like entertainment instead of sport. It worked far beyond anyone's expectations. The IPL has grown into a 12,000-plus crore business, with income rising more than tenfold since 2013-14 alone. Over 70% of that revenue comes from media rights. Think about what that number actually means. Broadcasting didn't just cover cricket anymore, but started funding it. Every rupee from a TV deal or a streaming subscription flows back into player contracts, stadiums, and youth pipelines. Indian football spent that same stretch tangled in courtrooms. In 2017, the Delhi High Court struck down AIFF's own leadership elections for violating India's National Sports Code. What followed was years of legal battles over who was even allowed to run the federation. Cricket in India isn't just popular because people love it. The game became commercially impossible to ignore. Now, brands, broadcasters, and investors all want in. And once money enters at that scale, it builds a self-sustaining system that keeps growing on its own. While cricket was building an empire, Indian football was busy suing itself. The case dragged through the courts for years. By 2020, things had gotten so unstable that the Supreme Court had to step in and install a committee of administrators, essentially taking the federation out of its own hands to keep it functioning day to day. So picture the split screen. Cricket had one clear governing body pouring money into growth and turning itself into a business. Meanwhile, football's governing body was tied up in courtrooms instead of stadiums. You can't build a national footballing culture when the people supposed to be running it can't even agree on who's allowed to run it. Cricket's business boom didn't happen in a vacuum, but because the team kept winning. And winning gives fans something to invest in. Now look at football's side of that same coin. Yes, India does play football. It fielded a national team for decades, competed in Asian Games, and took part in AFC qualifiers. But the team has never once reached a FIFA World Cup and has never won an AFC Asian Cup either. And it's not like fans haven't waited. They've watched the team come agonizingly close to qualifying rounds, only to fall short again and again. Eventually, hope turns into the habit of not checking the score at all. By July 2026, India's FIFA ranking sat at 138th in the world. That's the compounded result of over a decade without the kind of signature victory that turns casual interest into obsession. Compare that to cricket's timeline. One shocking win in 1983 and everything after that had a result to build on. Football has been playing the whole time. It just hasn't had a moment like that to give its fans something to hold on to. While football was still cleaning up a governance mess, cricket was investing in its next generation. The BCCI's 2025-26 budget tripled its investment. This was in India A and junior cricket programs, jumping to 42 crore rupees, up from just 12.9 crore rupees the year before. Why does the number matter? Because it's a direct response to a slowdown in the talent pipeline since 2023. Instead of waiting for the problem to fix itself, the board threw money at it immediately. Think about what that kind of spending power actually buys. It buys coaching and facilities, and the next Kohli or Bumrah get a real shot at getting noticed before they turn 20. Football, in that exact same period, wasn't in a position to make that kind of move. It was still trying to stabilize its own boardroom. You can't fund a youth pipeline when you're not even sure who's allowed to sign the check. While cricket was planning its future, football was fighting to save its present. The AIFF's commercial partnership with Football Sports Development Limited collapsed at the end of 2025, and the entire 2025-26 India Super League season was thrown into jeopardy. India's top football league, the one supposed to be building the sport's future, almost didn't happen at all. It got so bad that captain Sunil Chetri, goalkeeper Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, and defender Sandesh Jhingan had to publicly appeal to FIFA to intervene, just so a season could go ahead.
Indian football governance is no longer able to fulfill its responsibilities.
We are now staring at a permanent paralysis. This is the last-ditch effort to save what we can.
So we are calling the FIFA to step in and do what it takes to save Indian football.
Think about that for a second. The players themselves, the faces of Indian football, had to beg the sport's global governing body to save their own domestic league. Meanwhile, that same period saw Lionel Messi's brief India tour reportedly cost around 100 crore rupees, spent on a 30-second spectacle, while domestic footballers were left with a shrinking season and fewer chances actually to play. And here is the stat that says it all. When the FIFA World Cup 2026 was just 2 months away, India still had no confirmed broadcaster, TV deal, or streaming deal.
Moving on to some sports news, the FIFA World Cup is just a couple of months away, but football fans in India might not be able to watch the world's biggest sporting event altogether.
For context, this is a country that treats the World Cup like a cultural event every 4 years, with fans staying up for late-night kickoffs during summer break. And in 2026, there was a very real chance none of it would even air.
There is an absence of a television or digital partner for India, despite FIFA lowering the rights from $100 million to $35 million.
FIFA's original asking price for India's broadcast rights was $100 million. They slashed it to $35 million. Still no buyer. Now compare that to cricket. A single IPL match sells its broadcast rights for $13 million. And cricket isn't just winning the broadcast fight, but winning the streaming war too. IPL 2026 pushed JioStar to 530 million monthly active users and $1.14 billion in revenue in a single quarter. That's 500 million people actively using one platform in one quarter, largely because of one cricket tournament. That's close to half the entire population of India logging on, month after month, specifically to watch cricket. No other sport in India is anywhere close to that number. This is what makes cricket's dominance almost impossible to challenge right now. It's not just that people watch cricket, but the infrastructure to watch it is now built into how an enormous chunk of the country consumes media at all. Every other sport in India isn't just competing for fans anymore. They're hustling for a sliver of attention that cricket has already claimed. As of July 2026, India's men's football team is ranked 138th in the world. There are 193 countries in the world, by the way, just saying. Not because the talent isn't there. India has 1.4 billion people, thousands of schools and street games happening every single day, and a genuine growing fan base that tunes in for the Premier League and the World Cup every 4 years. It's because for the last decade, almost everything around the sport, the money, the media, and the governance kept working against it, while cricket's machine kept getting stronger in the same window of time. Here's what the numbers don't show you. Somewhere in India right now, a kid who's genuinely gifted at football is choosing cricket instead. Not because he loves it more, but because cricket can actually pay him, show him on TV, and give him a season to play in. Football might not. That's the real cost of this gap. It's not just a bad ranking. All right, your turn. If you had to bet on it, will football ever catch up? Or is this gap permanent? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.